Tonight, we'll be diving into 3 terrifying true Uber passenger horror stories you won't forget. Each story comes from someone who just needed a ride and ended up wishing they'd stayed home. Sit back, turn the lights off, and let's begin. I drive Uber part-time in a mid-sized city. Nothing crazy ever really happens here. But last winter, I had the most disturbing experience of my life. It was around 1:30 a.m. on a freezing Sunday night. I was about to log off when a request came in from the bus terminal downtown. People arriving late, missed rides home, normal stuff. I pulled up and saw only one person waiting. A guy wearing a gray hoodie, backpack on the ground, pacing back and forth like he was nervous or cold. As soon as he got in, I noticed something was off. He wouldn't look at me. Hood up, head down, breathing heavy, like he'd just been running. I said, "Cold night, huh?" "Nothing, just breathing." Then he whispered, "Can you drive faster, please?" His voice sounded shaky, almost like he was holding back panic. I hadn't even put the car in drive yet. I checked the app. 18-minute trip to a neighborhood I didn't recognize. Not terrible. We started down the empty stretch of road that leads out of downtown. For the first few minutes, the only sound was my heater and his breathing. Then he suddenly spoke low and tense. Do you think they saw me get in?" I thought he meant people at the bus station, so I replied, "Who?" He didn't answer. He lifted his head just enough so I could see part of his face in the rear view. Mirror, wide eyes, terrified. Then he said, "If they followed us, don't stop. Just keep driving no matter what." At that point, I started to genuinely worry. I asked if he was okay if someone was after him. He kept looking behind us, checking the back window. I glanced in my mirrors, mud empty road. No headlights? 5 minutes later, he suddenly sat up straight and whispered, "No, no, no, no." He pressed his face to the window like he was trying to see something behind us. I asked, "Is someone following us?" He didn't respond. Instead, he leaned forward, inches from my ear, and whispered, "You should have never stopped for me." I felt my stomach drop. That's when I noticed something. His hands were shaking violently. Not like he was cold, but like pure adrenaline. I debated pulling over and kicking him out. But we were in the middle of nowhere between neighborhoods, surrounded by woods and snow. Stopping felt worse. Out of nowhere, he said, "If you see headlights, run a red light. Break a law. Don't stop the car. They'll kill us." No headlights, still no cars. Just empty road. He began mumbling to himself, rocking slightly. Not words, just panicked sounds. Finally, we got near the destination, a quiet suburban street. No lights on, no movement. He suddenly said, "Don't go all the way. Stop here." It was still 3 blocks from the pin, but I did it. He opened the door slowly, then turned back and said, "Thank you for stopping. I hope they didn't see." Then he sprinted into the dark between 2 houses and vanished. I sat there frozen. After a minute, curiosity got the best of me, and I checked the back seat. His backpack was still there. I didn't open it. I called Uber support and reported the trip. Then drove straight to a police station. When they opened the bag, it wasn't clothes or personal stuff. It was full of duct tape, zip ties, gloves, and a large folding knife. The cops asked me a bunch of questions, then kept the bag as evidence. They told me I did the right thing, but wouldn't tell me anything else. A week later, a detective called. The man had been seen around town before, and there were reports of someone matching his description trying to force people into a car in another neighborhood. They never caught him. To this day, I don't know who was supposedly chasing him, or if anyone ever was. Maybe he was running from someone, or maybe he was preparing to do something awful and something scared him first. Either way, every time I drive at night now, I check my mirrors, just in case he's still out there. I was 19 when this happened, doing Uber for college money. Late evening shift, nothing unusual. My third pickup of the night was from a grocery store parking lot. The woman requesting the ride wasn't there. Instead, a tall guy in a black coat waved at me from the sidewalk. I confirmed the name. It matched. I unlocked the doors. He got in. From the moment he sat down, I felt uncomfortable. He stared at the side of my head the entire time. Not casually and like he was studying me. After a minute of silence, I tried small talk. "Long night?" He didn't answer. He just smiled, a wide, slow smile, and continued staring. Then he said, "I picked you because you look easy to talk to." My gut tightened. Something was wrong. Still, I tried to play it calm. Oh, well, I can talk if you want. He leaned forward a little, still smiling. I don't want to talk. I just want to watch how people react. I felt a cold sweat hit my neck. React to what? He didn't blink. Not once. His eyes looked almost dry. Then he asked, way too softly, do you ever feel like the world only pretends to be normal? I forced a laugh, trying to diffuse the weirdness. Sometimes, I guess. He leaned back slowly, still staring. Good, you get it. Most people don't. Most people never see what's hiding underneath. I glanced at my mirror. His eyes were huge, unblinking. At one point, I noticed his hands twitching rhythmically, like he was resisting an impulse. We were half a mile from his destination when he whispered, I like quiet people. They don't scream as much. I froze. I pretended not to hear and kept driving. My heart was racing so fast I felt dizzy. When we stopped, he didn't get out right away. He slowly turned his head toward me and finally blinked. One long, deliberate blink. Then he said, You're lucky tonight. He stepped out calmly and walked toward a path into the woods behind the neighborhood. No house lights, no cars, no people, just trees. He disappeared into darkness like he lived out there. I reported him. Uber said the account was already flagged. Police later told me an older woman reported being followed home by a man matching his description. At the same store earlier. They never found him. Every time I pass that store at night now, I check the tree line. I drive late nights in a rural area. Lots of long, empty roads. Most rides are for locals coming home from bars. One night around 2 a.m., I got a request from outside an old tavern. A man in dirty jeans and a flannel climbed in. He smelled like mud and stale beer. He gave an address that didn't show up on my GPS, just a pin in the woods miles outside town. I asked if it was right. He said, Yep, don't worry, I'll tell you where to stop. As we drove, he stared out the window, tapping his knee fast like he was anxious. Eventually, he muttered, People don't come out there anymore. Not after what happened. I asked what happened. He ignored the question, then whispered, They don't like visitors. I laughed nervously. Who? He smiled without looking at me. You'll see. We drove deeper into the woods. No streetlights. Just trees swallowing the car. My phone signal dropped. The road turned from pavement to gravel. Eventually, he tapped my shoulder, startling me. Stop here. There was nothing there, just pitch-black forest. He opened the door, stepped out, and before shutting it, he leaned in and said, Don't stay here long. Then he slipped into the woods, footsteps crunching leaves until they faded. I turned the car around immediately. My headlights lit up trees like walls of bones. I started driving back, heart pounding. Then, a figure suddenly stepped onto the road behind me in my rearview mirror. Not the man, taller, standing perfectly still facing my car. As my headlights swept the trees, I saw another shape. Then another. Like silhouettes watching from the woods, never moving, never blinking. Just there. I didn't stop. I didn't breathe. I just drove as fast as I could until I hit pavement again. The next day, I told a local friend about it. He got pale and said, Never drop anyone in those woods. Something's wrong out there. I tried to look up incidents in that area. Missing persons, crime, anything. Nothing came up. No records, no addresses. It's like that part of land doesn't exist on paper. Sometimes late at night, I swear I see figures near the tree line when I drive past the highway turnoff. Just standing, watching. I never took a ride request from that area again. Which story scared you the most? Comment below and subscribe for more true horror stories. Sleep well, if you can.